Some of you may remember the video that I did with Skytech a few months ago.
Guys, I got to go to California to visit Skytech HQ. I got to build an insane Intel gaming system with custom loop cooling components from Thermaltake, and you could win it. Stay tuned.
That one was a really special one where we did a custom build for a giveaway, and we teamed up with Intel and Thermaltake for that one. Thermaltake provided a really cool looking turquoise P6 case. Intel provided 13900KS, all this good stuff. So during that time though, I was talking with Skytech about like, hey, you know, what are you guys doing for 4th of July? Because 4th of July last year was a really big one. And they were like, I don't know, what do you have in mind? Which was not the answer I was expecting. So what we came up with was to do a little bit of a bundle. So here's how this is gonna work. They have a system that's on their site right now. And if you go look at it, it stands out just a little bit because my major contribution to this was to say, hey, let's do something with a unique color. And Montech, I was looking around at cases, and Montech, I've liked the Sky 2 for a while. I wanted to get my hands on a Sky 2 for a while, and they have one in a very special color. And I was like, check this out. They were like, oh, and now that's a standard pre-built that you can get. The Azure 2. So this one is gonna feature an Intel GPU, the Arc A770, which, since they came out with their more recent updates, VBIOS, all that stuff, and software and all that stuff. Basically, the hardware was already good, and they got to work on the other side of things to get them working, to get the card working better with games, all their cards. And since then, it's a real contender at a really great price. So that's why you see the Azure 2 coming in at $1699 with a 13600K, a Z690, 32 gigs of DDR5, and an Intel Arc A770. So let's go ahead and unbox the PC, and then we'll get to the bonus. Stop, it says. Oh, we ain't stopping. Look at that though. It's freaking gorgeous, all right? So hearkening back to my first review of a Skytech system, it was of the Prism 2. And that had a 3080 in it. And they ran essentially a single 8-pin power cable and used the primary one and then the pigtail. And I was like, no guys, no, you should not do that. As a builder, I don't agree with that. And look at this. Dual power cables here. Each one has their pigtail, just cable managed down. Yeah, what we're seeing here, this is the Azure 2 Blue Edition in the Morocco Blue Sky 2. And it's got one of these in it. 13600K. 13600K. 14 cores in this thing. 6 performance cores, 8 efficiency cores. It can do a lot and all at once. I will say it is a bit overkill to put a 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler on this thing, but it has a deep cool 360mm all-in-one liquid cooler, cooling it down, 32 gigs of DDR5, Kingston NV2, which is a Gen 4 NVMe drive, Z690. It's not the beefiest Z690 out there. You look at the VRAM heat sinks, you can tell that. But for a 13600K, the power delivery is more than adequate. And also the I/O, not bad at all, actually. I'm quite pleased. On the I/O back here, we have 4 USB 3.0s, 2 USB 2.0s, 1 USB 3.2. That's going to be a 10 gig right there, and a USB Type-C right here. What you've got here are 2 USB 3.0s, 1 Type-C connector here, and separate microphone, headphone jacks right there, which I prefer personally. You have an LED control in case it's not being run from the motherboard, and of course your power button right there. So the Acer Predator Intel Arc A770, this one is a unique card. So now you can get a better look at the inside of it. Now there's no heat spreader for the M.2 drive, no heat spreader for that. You take that or leave that, or you could even add one. They sell them aftermarket as well. But this is coming with 1 terabyte of PCIe Gen 4 NVMe storage. The power supply is a 750 watt unit. Okay, that is serviceable cable management right there. Now, the one thing I don't like about this style of cable management is that if you need to fix one thing, you have to undo all of it. It's not like separated in any way. You have all your RGB right here, all your power stuff's right here, all the same. Front panel connectors, it's all together. However, the way that MONTAGE designed the cable management in this section here, I don't know that there's any other way to do it. But yeah, you got your storage rack right here where you can put two 3.5-inch hard drives or two, or you can also put at least one 2.5-inch SSD, and there's two mounting points for that right here as well. Quite a bit of storage you can put in this fairly small case. Okay, so what is the perfect thing to go with a gaming PC? The thing that a lot of people agonize over. Like, oh, I got my PC on the way. What do I get? What monitor do I get? What size? What resolution? I want to game, man. I need a gaming monitor. Well, guess what? You get one. You get a monitor. You get a monitor. Everybody in that 50 people who order this get a monitor. So this is a 27-inch 1080p 165 hertz gaming monitor. Okay, this right here is like your entry level to true gaming monitor territory. And I say entry level because the pricing on this is already quite good. Now this deal is $1699, 13600K, 32 gigs DDR5, 1 terabyte Gen 4 storage, ARC A770, Z690 in the Morocco Blue Sky 2. And a 27-inch 1080p 165 hertz, and that's true 165 hertz, by the way. Now, to be fair, once you've adjusted this thing, you're probably not going to adjust it much more anymore. And yes, it does have tilt as well. Tilt. You have tilt. You can also rotate. You can pivot. This is OP. Also, on the back, this thing I think is really made. It's really made to where if you're competitive in esports, you can travel with it. There you go. Why don't you hang yourself a freaking headset right there? Huh? You need 2.1. I understand. What's up, Robey? How's it going, buddy? Ladies and gentlemen, I have successfully summoned Justin Robeytech Robey of Robeytech fame. Sorry, I can't hear you because of the stupid music here. He's in Miami, poor guy. Oh, geez. Let's power it up if we're ready. And we are. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh boy, here we go. Hey buddy, what's up?
Hey, what's up, buddy? How's it going? We couldn't hear you because of the really loud music. Yeah, and we're calling you on your screen. Hold on, somebody else wants to say hi.
Hey.
Hey, what's?
Hey, are we interrupting your stream?
Yeah, how are you guys doing over there?
We're eating dinner right now. We're just thinking about you. Just wanted to say hey, and then saw that you were streaming, so we thought it'd be fun to interrupt your stream.
Y'all can interrupt my stream anytime.
Justin wants to say something. Hold on.
Okay.
Just say thanks for repping the shirt, and we're trying to support the stream while we could.
Hey, you know what? Mutual support's what it's all about, man.
Anyway, let's go, geeks.
You heard him, guys. Something along those lines. All right, you have fun over there, buddy.
You too. Bye. Talk to you later, man.
See ya. But Robey and Deb, they're the best. Just really, really good people. Okay, let's open up Cinebench. Yeah, bam. Let's go. Wait, how did it hit? When did it hit 100C? Why is it saying 100C? What is this? Are you guys seeing this? I'm gonna reset this and run it again. Okay. What the heck? Dude, it's popping right up to 100C. Times have changed, of course. So old school guys like me, we're gonna see the CPU throttling and be like, that's bad. It needs to constantly stay under a certain temperature because we're just used to that. But now CPUs on both sides, both Team Blue and Team Red, are designed to run right up to thermal limits and see what you've got in terms of cooling capacity. And then that determines the performance that you get. So it takes a little bit of a shift of mind, a mind shift, if you will, for me to wrap my head around the fact, even though it's been you know, a while since Alder Lake came out, and then Raptor Lake, and also 7000 series Ryzen. It takes a little while to wrap my head around that, even though those have been out for a bit. It's just crazy to think about, but that's the way things are going. We saw the score. We have it recorded. It was like 22,600 something. So we'll see what the difference is now with the actual voltage limitation on. I don't think it's going to be too crazy, but it looks like this is on. So this is enabled, and that's good. We want resizable bar enabled for any Intel GPU, and we'll see what the temps do and what scores we get. We ready? Let's go. Nope, it jumped right back up to 100 again. Right up to there. 101. Okay. And dip down to 98. So it's clearly like working with what it's got for the CPU cooling. And I mean, we're staying at. I should honestly bring up all the cores so we can see all the core clocks. But yeah, 22,523, same score, just about. Well, look, the way it's currently configured, it's going to butt up against the thermal limit, and that's the way it's designed to work. I'm not any kind of like overclocking professional. A lot of this stuff changes from generation to generation. My general thing is to see like, hey, is this thing performing? Is it constantly overheating? And when it's not running this, which is look, Cinebench is not a realistic test. It's not meant to be. It's a synthetic benchmark that is basically putting your CPU through more work than you will likely ever put it through in a very short amount of time. So let's, Furmark or Heaven? Let's run Furmark. I mean, I've been running Furmark pretty much. Okay, let's run this at, well, 1080. Okay. Okay, looking at GPU temps right here. 72 degrees Celsius. We haven't been running for very long, but there you have it. Let's see. We're running at FPS 195 FPS. Now this is very unreasonable. It's very rude of us to do this to the GPU. That's what Furmark is. This fuzzy donut right here is pretty hard to render. But yeah, there we go. Intel Arc A770. We're running at 81 degrees Celsius. What's going on in the GPU space is very similar to the CPU space, okay? You're going to see your GPU get up to its temperature where it's limited, and then it'll start adjusting. Just like CPUs. It's not the way it used to be. But we're talking about 84 Celsius. It still hurts to see it. GPU throttle reasons, yes. Also keep in mind the ambient temperature in this garage is pretty high. What I'm going to do for the final video that's going to be coming out at the end of this week is I'm going to run these tests also indoors with air conditioning to show the delta between the two, the difference that it makes. But generally what that's probably going to do is just allow for higher frequencies, higher clocks. They'll still probably run up against their thermal limits and just perform better because the ambient temperature is lower. What's up, Falcon Northwest? How's it going, Kelp? Glad to see you, buddy. Hayden Allen Official. Hey, Braythorn, love your videos. Can you build a Mark V PC from the Skytech custom builder and then unbox it and test it? I mean, I've done that before. I have done that before where I get a custom PC. I have like 4 different Skytech reviews. In fact, I'm in the middle of one right now. And this is the... this right here is the Azure 2. Takala, yeah, clock speed should be what you're looking at more than temps with new hardware. In all honesty, this is a better test than testing at 70 degrees Fahrenheit. Not everyone has AC. I hope people have AC. Okay, so... yeah, GPU clocks, 2350 megahertz. Max was 2400. So we're still hanging right around the maximum. Memory clocks at 2187. Max was 2187. So at 84 degrees Celsius, this thing is just hanging out. Now, I can't, because of the IEMs, it's hard to tell if there's a you know, egregious noise. So I'll have to test it in a quieter environment. I also don't have a decibel meter or anything. Yeah. No, we're still maintaining the clock speeds from maximum. We're still sticking right around where we need to be. In fact, the GPU fan is not even running at its max RPM. Max RPM was 2875. It's running at 2489 right now. It's like, I'm good. So, yeah. After having spoken with some folks who are better experienced with a lot of this testing, who just do it every single day, all the time, like that's what they do. I realized that I was looking at things in the wrong way. In fact, if I were to open this right now, we probably wouldn't see temps dip. We would just see frequencies rise. That's something I got totally wrong on the NZXT one. I was like, oh, look, you take this off, because it did go down by like 3 degrees Celsius. But then it was just like, oh, good, I can perform higher now. I can do more performance things. So yeah. Who's paying for that PC? Well, this is for review. This is a review unit. Actually, it's Intel that helped us do this. So that's why it's perfect that this is in the blue case with blue RGB to show off the A770 and the 13600K. So both of them are running at high temperatures like, psh, this is whatever. Why are you sweating so much, Bray? We're fine. Okay, I see you. Basically, you can assume your stuff's going to run cooler than mine because you're going to be in a very likely in a not as hot an area as I am. Now, I generally start with Cyberpunk. It's a good overall thing to do because it's one of the hardest games to run. Not at 1080p necessarily, but because actually at 1080p, you don't really get much out of stuff like DLSS. But you can check it out. Graphics are set to Ray Tracing Ultra. Okay. Now, I don't know if it keeps that just because I don't know if it's auto setting that or if that's just because it's how I had it set before. But I'm just going to roll with it, man. Let's see what we get. That's a little more like it. Maybe we'll run like a high, medium, low kind of thing. Our average FPS was 48, max was 60. Okay, let's run it like this. We took off ray tracing, and we don't have it on ultra, we have it on high. Ray tracing's off. Okay, let's run it. I could have that showing. Look at the difference though. 103 FPS, 104. Yeah. So that's a significant difference. And this to me looks awesome. Okay, 98.19. Solid difference. Like that's probably how I would run it. So I like those two. Last time I lingered way too long on Cyberpunk. Let's call that good. I think that's good. I got CSGO. Sure. From CSGO. I also haven't played that in absolutely forever. Yeah, this is a perfectly good play experience here. It was running awesome. Okay, so we got to see how this thing ran with a high-end AAA title, like a hard-to-run AAA title, which is why I like to run Cyberpunk as a benchmark. And we got to see it run a game that can run on a toaster, CSGO. It handled both really well in their, respective to how you expect those kinds of games to go. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to get, my on-screen display for frame rate for CSGO, but I gotta tell, and you're probably limited in how much you can see. It looked like it was running at about like 120 or higher, just like to the point where it's like, oh, this is like 60 FPS. You can't tell, basically. I am stoked that the A770 is this good, and I honestly would like to try it at higher resolutions. But honestly, with you're getting this package deal, you're gonna get a high frame rate, a high refresh rate, 1080p monitor. So gaming at 1080p with this thing, no hiccups, no problems. Everything went great. Running both a full-on AAA title and running something like an esports title. It did both. Plus, you're gonna have AV1 encoding with this and 32 gigs of DDR5. If you want to stream to YouTube, this thing can do it. 100%, because you can use AV1 encoding to stream to YouTube. I'm really happy with it. So what I'll do is I'll run some thermal tests indoors, not in the garage setting out here, to see if there's any difference in the temperatures, but honestly, I don't think there's gonna be. I think it's gonna hit 100 degrees Celsius, and maybe the frequencies will be different. That's what I'm predicting, and that's okay. It's designed to work like this. And there has been an Intel engineer in a video saying, if your CPU is not running at 100 degrees Celsius, you're leaving performance on the table. Well, they're putting their money where their mouth is on that. But I gotta tell you, the combination between the Intel CPU and GPU here worked awesome. Like, opinions aside, it just worked really well. I had no complaints. Now, I understand that when someone's reviewing a monitor and showing it off on stream or whatever, saying, hey, this looks really good, you can't see how good it looks. But I have used TN panels in the past, and this one is the best looking TN panel I've ever seen. It looks really good, and the colors are not bad. I don't have the advanced tools to actually measure that, but I look at a color accurate screen every single day, and the thing is, this is from BenQ. Zowie is a sub-brand for BenQ, and BenQ is well known to make content creation monitors like industry-wide. It's one of the industry standards. The frame rates were awesome. It is an actual full-on 165 hertz refresh rate, not overclocked or over-driven or whatever. It's just 165. And this monitor stand is absolutely one of the best I've seen. Seriously, it is dope. So, check out this deal. 4th of July, it's going to drop on the 4th of July. There are 50 units where you'll be able to get the Azure 2 with this spec for $16.99 and get the free 27-inch 1080p 165 hertz Zowie monitor along with it, and keyboard and mouse. Basically, you're good to go other than like a headset. That's everything you need. Headset or speakers, and then you're done. Because this thing doesn't have speakers in it. Get yourself some like Creative Pebbles or something for like, I don't know, what are they, like 15 bucks? Done. Or a headset. Done. So, thank you very much to Skytech for sending this thing out for me to check out and for working with me on it so that we could spec this thing out and make it great. I love the case. Can't wait to throw it in the montage for you guys. And also for sending out the monitor so I could check it out too. It was part of the bundle, so reviewing it did need to be part of this. And thank you to Intel for helping make all this happen. Thank you so much, guys. That's going to be it for this one. So until next time, take care.